Hi everyone, and welcome to RUBIN'S Mind Lab, where we break down the latest research into what it really means. Have you ever tried to come up with as many uses for a brick as you can in 3 minutes, and wondered if the way your brain jumps between ideas is actually a sign of your creative genius? Most of us know that creative thinking often feels like a messy, scattered process. Sometimes you get stuck on one idea and just keep pulling variations out of it, like thinking of a brick as a doorstop, a paperweight, or a base for a tiny garden. Other times you make a sudden leap to something completely different, like using that brick as a prehistoric weapon or a piece of abstract sculpture. Scientists call those two modes clustering and switching. Clustering is when you stay in the same semantic neighborhood, and switching is when you move to a new one. The big problem has always been that, until now. We really struggle to measure this process accurately. To tell if someone was clustering or switching, we usually had to pay human experts to sit there and categorize thousands of individual ideas, which is expensive, slow, and can lead to messy disagreements. But what if we could teach artificial intelligence to do this for us? That is exactly what this new study aimed to find out. The researchers wanted to see if AI could automate the scoring of these memory search processes in a way that is just as good or even better than human raters. They took a massive amount of data, nearly 6,000 responses from people across both English and French-speaking groups, and set to work. They tested two very powerful language models, GPT-4o and the even newer GPT-5, and they also tried to train machine learning models using something called unsupervised metrics. These metrics are basically just math shortcuts that look at the text to see how similar words are or how the AI pays attention to different parts of a sentence. The results were actually pretty surprising when they put these tools to the test against human experts. GPT-5 was the clear winner. It was like having a super skilled research assistant that never gets tired. It could tell the difference between sticking to a theme and jumping to a new one with incredible speed and accuracy. It basically captured the essence of what human raters were doing. But it did the work in a fraction of the time. The machine learning models that relied on just simple word comparisons did not fare quite as well. They were basically like someone trying to solve a puzzle with one eye closed. They worked okay, but they missed a lot of the subtle context that a more advanced AI model could pick up on. So, why does this matter for you? Think about how we understand creativity. If we can measure how you jump between ideas, we can start to see how different people solve problems. Some people are great at grinding through a single theme until they find something truly unique, which is that persistent clustering we talked about. Others are masters of flexibility, constantly mapping out new territories in their mental landscape. By automating this, scientists can now study thousands of people at once, instead of just a few dozen. This could help us understand how creativity changes as we age, how it relates to different brain conditions, or even how we can train ourselves to be more flexible thinkers. It gives us a window into the machinery of your own mind. Now, as with any scientific study, there are some things to keep in mind. This study used one specific task, which involves finding uses for objects, and it only looked at 2 languages. While it performed great there, we don't know yet if this AI would be quite as good at judging other types of creative tasks, like writing poetry or coming up with a business plan also. The machine models relied on specific, complex prompt strategies to work. It is not that you can just talk to any computer and get these results. You have to be very careful and intentional about how you guide the AI to do this kind of advanced thinking. In my opinion, this is a huge step forward because it turns a subjective, messy part of psychology into something we can finally map out with data. It suggests that if we want to build smarter, more creative AI, we should probably be looking at how human memory actually hunts for information. If we can model the way a creative mind clusters and switches, we might end up with technologies that are not just smarter, but genuinely more innovative. Looking ahead, I am excited to see if researchers can use these tools to create personalized creativity coaching. Imagine an app that notices when you are stuck in a mental rut and gently uses one of these techniques to help you flip the switch to a new category. Future studies should definitely look at more languages and diverse creative domains to see how universal these patterns really are. The potential here is massive. What do you think? Do you consider yourself more of a persistent clusterer or a flexible switcher in your daily problem solving? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this dive into the mind as interesting as I did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to RUBIN'S Mind Lab, and share the video with a friend who always thinks outside the box. Thanks for watching, and keep exploring your own mind.